Okay, so this is part 2 of the 5.3a lesson. And what we're going to be doing is exactly the same as we did in part 1. It just was nice to give a little break in between. That's where we would have done a stretch break in class. So there are 36 students in a math class. 75% of the students take an art class after math, and the rest take social studies. How many students take art after math? So math is the one thing that's consistent there. So the math class, the students in the math class, this is going to be your original number of students. And what you're looking for is kind of like what period are they going to next. So when it says 75% of students take art, and then how many take art, that's what we're going to let our x be. So we're going to let x equal the number of students who take art. And in your word ratio, if you want to, you can put art over math, or you could say art over total students. It's kind of up to you. When it looks like art to math, it looks like a part to part, but really what we're looking at here is a part to whole, because we're looking at what happens after the math class. So if we have 36 students in math and we're looking for how many in art, the x will be on top. And then 75, the percent is actually hidden in words there, and we're going to have it over 100. And then again, we're going to cross multiply. So we have 100 times x, and then equals 36 times 75. Once we multiply 36 times 75, we're going to get 2,700. And then we're not quite done yet, because we have to get rid of the 100. So if we divide by 100 on both sides, we are going to get x equals 27. So that means that 27 students of the class, so 27 students take art after math. Okay, moving on, looking at number 5, you earned a grade of 80% correct on a history quiz that had 150 questions. How many questions did you answer correctly? So 150 questions there, that's going to be our whole or the total. And correct is going to be our part. And what we're looking for is how many correct questions did you get? So we're going to let x equal the number of correct questions, or questions answered correctly. So we are looking in our word ratio at having correct over the total number of questions. As soon as we get ready to set up our proportion, you can kind of make 2 fraction bars with an equal sign in the middle, and then start looking back at the problem. So just a reminder from before that it's normal to have to reread these questions like 4 or 5 times, sometimes 6 or 7 times, to get all the information you need out of it. So we've got the 80%. So if you want to, you can stick that 80 over 100 first. It is okay if you have it on the left side of the equal sign. It's just not how we've been doing it during class, and I'm trying to be consistent. The 150 is the total, and then the x is going to be on top. So once we cross multiply, we will have 100x, and then equals 150 times 80. It's okay if you have the 80 in front of the 150 when you're multiplying. Once you do that, and you have to be really careful with the zeros, we're actually looking at 12,000 here. So we're looking at 12 with 3 zeros afterwards, and then we are going to divide both sides by 100. And once we do that, we're going to get 120. So that means that you answered 120 questions correctly. Good job. Okay, so last one. Yay! So Lisa's trying to reduce her daily paper use by 10%. So reduce means to have less. So she wants to cut her paper use by 10%. Then it says she reduces her paper use by 12 pieces of paper. How many pages was she using before? So we're looking for the original number of pages. So we're going to let x equal pages before, or pages used before. And sometimes it's easier for students to actually use the words that are in the word problem. So using the word reduce instead of using cut. If you can go back and forth between those, that's not a problem. But we're looking at the reduced paper to the original paper used. And again, we've got our 10% right away in the first part of the problem. Then it tells us that she reduces by 12 pages each day, which means the X is going to go on the bottom. So 12 times 100 is going to give us 1,200. And then all we've got to do is divide by 10. And I'm pretty sure this is a lot of paper to be using in one day. We're looking at 120 pages each day. So Lisa was using 120 pages. And that's it. So when you feel ready, go ahead and work on the 5.3a homework. It's just questions 1, 2, and 3. Calculators are fine. And then go ahead and submit it. I hope you have a great day.